People Are Dying After My Best Friend Went Missing by Hayong. My best friend, Zane, and I decided to go to the same college for our first 2 years. We were both against the idea of living in dorms, so we used the money we saved up during high school to pay for the 6 months of rent up front. We both got jobs within the first month of college. Between work and college, we hardly had time to hang out, but we quickly made it a tradition to eat flamin' hot Cheetos and split a 24-pack of beer every Sunday evening whilst watching whatever was on TV. The first 4 months went by in a blur. I managed to make a couple of friends, get promoted to shift manager, and make straight A's on all of my classes. Zane, on one hand, lost his job, became more quiet, and was barely scraping by with passing grades. I tried to cheer him up multiple times a day, but he would just either grunt in response or just ignore me completely. 4 days ago, Zane left and never came back. I didn't panic for the first day, but 2 days after not seeing Zane, I started to get worried. I tried calling him several times, but he didn't answer. He wouldn't respond to any of my messages on Facebook or text. I went to bed with an uneasy feeling that night. The next morning, when I awoke, I broke down and ended up calling the cops. They came over and got a couple of notes from me. I showed them a couple of photos from his Facebook and Instagram. Around 30 minutes later, they told me they would try their hardest to find him and left. I tried going about the day, but during my classes I couldn't really pay attention to what the professor was talking about. After my last class, I walked back home and changed into my work uniform and walked to the bookstore. The 5-hour shift felt like it was never going to end. I started counting down the minutes during the final 2 hours. The counting was disturbed when I overheard a couple of girls talking about a man who was found dead outside of our school cafeteria. Curious, I walked up to them and asked them if there was a type of description of the man they could give. After a couple of seconds of awkward silence, the girl holding the phone handed me the phone and pointed at the article. One look and I let out a breath of relief. The man in the photo had white hair. There wasn't really a description of how he was killed or who to look out for. Of course, I was scared that there was a murderer in our college campus, but I was relieved that Zane wasn't dead. I handed back the phone whilst thanking the girls, and walked to the back to try and call him again. After my third unsuccessful attempt, I walked out and walked around the store and acted like I was working for the remainder of my shift. When I got home, I sat on the couch and waited there until around 4 in the morning. I knew he wasn't coming home, but I didn't want to give up hope. He was the guy that beat up my bully for me when we were in the 5th grade. The one that warned me about how my homecoming date was going to ditch me once we got to homecoming. The one that motivated me to shoot for a full scholarship for whatever college I decided to go. The one that gave me the smile that I loved seeing when I told him I got accepted with a full scholarship for the college he was going to as well. When I woke up yesterday morning, I got ready and walked to my first class. When I got to class, I saw a note from the professor posted in front of the door saying that classes were cancelled for today. I checked my emails to make sure another student wasn't pulling a prank on me. But the first email I saw was an alert from the college office. Subject: Stay indoors. Do not leave. We are sending out a warning for all our students to not leave their rooms or their houses. Yesterday evening we lost 8 students. If you decide to leave, be reminded that this is on your own terms. We suggest going out in groups. We are looking into the deaths of the students, but we are temporarily cancelling all classes until we resolve this issue. I ran back to my house as fast as I could. When I walked inside of the house, I swear I could smell the cologne Zane used in high school. I walked into the living room to see a familiar sight for the first time. A 24-pack of beer and 2 bags of flamin' hot Cheetos. On the news later that day, they were covering the deaths on our campus. I instantly noticed 2 names. The bully Zane beat up, and the girl that planned on ditching me for the homecoming dance. Zane, if you're listening to this, I don't agree with this, but man, I sure do appreciate how much you really care about me. Be safe. This beer is in honor of you.